Hello, welcome to Flory Models. I'm Philip Flory. Kit review time. This particular one we're doing, which is the Eduard Good Morning Da Nang series. Now this is the standard F4B, which we have built and done, which is here, which I have to say is a cracking model. What Eduard do from time to time seems to be a bit more of the norm now. It's worked very closely with Academy kits, because we've done some of theirs before, and turning them into sort of super kits, if you like. We've built this model, so we don't need to really talk about it. All I will say is it's a cracking kit. It's far superior to the Hasegawa one and everything else. And straight out of the box, we did a photo upgrade on this one, but technically out of the box, it's an absolute superb kit. Now, the Eduard, what they've done, they take the standard kit, which you can go out and buy, and they add their range to it. So what you end up with is what you see on the back. So we've got their nice resin correct wheels, because there is a little bit of difference. Some very nice ejector seats, which I did say is quite a weak part of particular just the kit on its own. Set of nozzles, I don't know, you can probably get away without that, and a few other bits and pieces which we'll see in the box. So what you have here is, we'll just bring this top camera out a little bit, you can see absolutely lovely box art, saying it's limited edition and everything else like that, and then you open up the box. What you should find, I'm sure that's just separate packaging, is this. So you basically get this bit in the kit, which we've already done the kit review, so I'm not going to go through it again. What I'll do is I'll link it here so you can see all about it. But what you do get is a box of goodies just like this. The kit itself, as I said, it's a lovely kit. You get plenty of sprues with it, as you can see down here. There's different versions coming along with this kit. I think they're out already. I think the C version's come out, but certainly you going through these parts, you'll see the J kit and everything else like this. As I said, the spine area on this one is a little bit of a weak area. The way that it goes in, it looks like it's a little bit of an afterthought for the different versions coming along. But generally, as you can see, I'm just checking to make sure there isn't anything else different in the kit. It is very, very nice. You get a fantastic selection of weapons, which is obviously a mass difference to the other one. So if we just slip them out of the way, the bits we're talking about after obviously doing the standard review are these. So what we've got here, if we work our way through the instructions, we can see the usual way of doing it. So we've got a great little bit of intro on it, some great artwork working our way through, showing you obviously the blue highlighted ones are the ones we're not using, okay? And obviously it talks about their parts which they brought to this, which is the Photoetch set, the mask set, some obviously colour Photoetch, a little bit of film work as well, which is quite nice, and obviously their resin bits, all right? So as you can see, when you'll be doing this kit compared to we've done the other one, this will show you all those areas that need to be either totally removed or sanded off, okay, to make way for obviously these new resin replacement or Photoetch parts which are going on. So in this case, what we've got here is lots of Photoetch making you an entire new instrument panel, which is what we did, to be honest, with our version as well. We've also got some colour Photoetch will be going on the side as it goes through, and we can see those just here now, which is great detail on these. Well, which camera probably be best on these, but as you can see, it's very nicely done, nice, rich, highly detailed, and it seems to be getting better and better as time goes on with these. We've also got a normal painted one underneath, which obviously are these parts. So what you're looking at here is this area here, this Photoetch, is this particular one here in the brass, okay, just down like this. And then you're putting PE11 on top of it, which then, as obviously PE11 here is in the colour Photoetch. So what you'll need to do, build this area first, prime it, spray it, then you put your colour on top, because obviously you will get gaps as you're going around. So what you're going to end up with is totally new Photoetch instrument panels. Okay, so you've got various plates going down on the inside, Photoetch pedals, you never see them, okay, and as you're working your way through the entire thing, talking about how to get dents in things, which is quite a nice little trick, but use a ballpoint pen and push it across the brass, that way it dents it in, it just gives it a very nice texture as you go through. Construction then carries on, so you're going to be putting that nice cockpit which you've upgraded straight into the kit, as you can see here. The wheel wells, they're a little bit tricky, those going together, okay, so just take your time with them as you're making your way through. And then it looks like you don't actually add any Photoetch to the gear, which is one area I thought you would. Then we've got the brazen engine set, which is here, which will be in your nice little box. So we open this up, extremely well packaged. Okay, and where are the engines? And this is our engine set, which is what this bit here is talking about. So down in here, what we've actually got You'll cut off obviously the back of this tube completely. Okay, so it just gives you the cylinder for this section in here. All right, and then we have our nozzle, again removing this outer area. That's our nozzle going on. Okay, and then we've got our compressor blade set, again removing the block on the back, sits up here. And then the parts in between, these ones in here, are obviously down here on the Photoetch going in. Very nicely done. They are a far superior look, and certainly a well worth upgrade to the actual kit part itself. So it's pretty much a bit of a must if you want it to look, because when you look at our one, it's quite nice. We can do the direct comparison, but you can see these engines just back here. You know, when you compare them to what you're going to have, these are far, far superior. A lot more detail on these than what you got straight out of the box. So very much a well worth upgrade putting those in. We just pop these all back in. And it's quite nice as well because they've got a long depth onto those. Although those have got a full length one as well, it'd be quite nice to see those areas. Carrying on then, the intakes. Yeah, I can show you on this one. They're not brilliant. I don't know how well the light, or even if any light's going to be able to see down into these. What happens is it's a system where you've got this outer cutaway area here becomes part of the outside of the actual panel on it. So what happens is you end up with a gap. Ideally, you don't want that. I would probably, if you wanted one to look perfect and fantastic, seamless suckers onto there, seamless intakes onto that one would probably be a very nice upgrade to it. Is it a must? No. Certainly if you're going to do it with fold covers on, you're never going to see it, so don't worry about it. Okay, making our way down, same as we've done before, engines go in. More Photoetch work, so these are quite nice. Something mine doesn't have, because obviously we did it in flight, you're not going to need it, but certainly these are a very nice touch. These are these metal rails here, which sit on the top, and it gives it a very nice texture. All too often with modelling, it's just flat. Okay, this will give you that texture just like the real thing. So if you did want it, cockpits open, and let's face it, Phantoms look lovely with the cockpits open. It will just really help that along very nicely. In-flight refuel probe, got ours out, making our way through. A couple more little bits of Photoetch to go on. Then you've got to put these on. Take your time with it, plenty of test fitting. They go on, those are on there with minimal amount of filler going on there. And they fit lovely, so if you're worried about it. These electronic air scoops you can see down here, G35 and G34, take your time with those. They are very much a weak spot on the kit. They don't fit correctly. They're certainly not a push-on job like the Hasegawa kits. Needs a little bit of tweaking to get those to really go in properly. Obviously you've got the different little chin sensors on this one, so make sure you've got the correct one going on. We've got a little bit more Photoetch work going on and some film on at the top, which is quite a nice upgrade to it. Okay, and then they basically standard things going on. Different types of warning receivers on the tail for different markings, which we'll get onto in a moment because there is numerous types in this. Okay, next up with the resin we've got down here is the replacement wheels, which as we can see in here, absolutely lovely. The only thing is there's no weight on wheels with these. So a little bit of drop the ball there. Would have been nice to see a little squash bit, so it's, we've got the weight effect. Weight on wheels is simply that bulge you get with your car tyres when they're down. Obviously aircraft when they're up, they're perfect. When they're down, low pressure tyres, they tend to sit quite heavy, especially when they're fueled up or heavily armed. You'll see it. You don't get them with these, which is, not brilliant. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of Photoetch around on this gear area as well, but it's not. It's using all the kit parts. Okay, just to liven it up. Although I haven't used it, when I was doing it, you could see it wasn't brilliant. These are the multiple ejector racks, or mirrors. You'll get tiers as well for the triple ejector rack, the weapon system going on, the fuel tanks as you go through. You do get the mask set somewhere, it might be in here even. Yes, here we go. So we've got the masking for the tyres, so you can mask up the tyres, and also you can mask up the cockpit. Personal choice, I never use these things. I've got my way of doing it, and I find by the time I've flapped around and putting all of these in, you can cut it and do it properly. One little tip though, whilst we're doing it, because I can show you perfectly on here, you might be able to see I've got this little bit of the grey missing out of here. Which camera might be best on this one? I'll get this camera just to poke in just a bit. There you go. You can see that bit there. What that is because it's got primer coat goes down, It's got pre-shading around it as well to make it black so you can't see any bleed through, and it looks black on the inside. Then obviously it's had numerous lacquer coats for weathering, decaling, things like that. When you come to peel these things off, always run a sharp blade just around all those edges so you get a nice clean tear away. So when you peel these off, or like anything, it comes away clean, not like that did where it peeled a little bit of the paint with it. Technically I should have gone back and fixed it. I let it slide, you know, I was on a time thing, but certainly a nice little tip for you is to get these cuts before you actually go in and use them. We can see on the back here, which I didn't cover because I didn't see it actually, I'll have to have a look in a minute, but we've got, these are the fabric seat belts, which they're all floppy and very nice, but you've got the seat cushions down here as well. These are a great little touch, and something I haven't actually used yet, but I'd like to have a go on those and see what they're like. There we go, just speaking about it. So, ejector seats, normally they're obviously part of the kit. We can see these down here now, lots of little bits. The only thing I don't like with these is the way they're crammed into bags. They can knock against each other and knock bits off. Like here, these tiny little bits down in the bag. Is it flash or is it part of it? Very hard to tell. But these seats are an absolute gem. These are a great upgrade to the actual kit parts. They're absolutely lovely, and as I say, they don't look much when they're like this, but you put them together, you add the little bit of Photoetch because you've got quite a little bit of Photoetch, but the seats are something you can see in a Phantom quite nicely, especially, you know, I've got crew sitting on them and it's closed up, I wouldn't worry about it, but if you're doing it open again, pretty much a must. You really want to stick some seats in it, and away you go. So there we go, that's how your seats has come to supplies. Usual things we'd expect from Eduard, beautifully cast, beautifully presented, and with these little details. So with these fabric bits going on, we've got photo etch to go on, which will be colour as well. So certainly you can see down here, you've got the protectors on the red, you've got the pull handles, which is another nice touch. Obviously I painted mine, but these are in the photo etch, so you've got that nice, the yellow and the black striping and everything else. So a great little touch with those. I'll just slip these back in. But as you can see if I move out of the way, you can see on the instructions down here that how quite complicated it is for all of this going in, but it's one of those things, you take your time with it and it will be fine. As you can see, putting these harnesses on and things, I'm guessing that actually is a part of the seat. As I said, it's the only trouble with them rubbing together in a bag. Pop that in. And as you can see, going through, all the way through, some nice ones. Got that cushion, which we can see on the instructions going in. Photo etch mirrors, things like that. Again, it really adds depth and character and everything else. It's great when the canopy's open shut. Yeah, we don't really need it. And then working our way through. So you've got your weapons loadout, exactly what you want. So we got mirrors down the middle for obviously you can put on here 6 bombs or 3 with the triple ones going down here, sidewinders and Sparrow missile mix. And then obviously your marking. So obviously the very famous Jolly Rogers with the black tail. Everybody loves the Jolly Rogers one. Very nice. And then down here, who we got? We've got the Bengals, very nice one with the tiger on the back, something a little bit colourful. And then we've got the Death Rattlers. Anybody who knows your F-18 ones, you'll notice these markings as well. They have stood the time. And then very nice one off of the Midway as well, which is the Chargers with that very striking black scheme running down the spine or down the sides of the spine with that full black tail. And then of course you can do this one, which is slightly out of focus here. Here it is over here, which is my favourite markings of all time of any aircraft ever built. You put it on a Tomcat, you can put it on a Phantom, anything like that. It looks absolutely stunning with the Sundowners, obviously VF 111. Lovely markings on that. Stencil data. Knock yourself out. You can go as far as you want with this. I know a lot of guys, they've said to me that obviously, especially during you know, the Vietnam War, things got overpainted. Stencil data pretty much went out the window. So you can put on as much or as little as you like, depending on your weathering. Mine's very heavily weathered. I put on probably 80% of all those stencil data went on there. But as you can see, if you want to do this and put every single one in, knock yourself out. If you don't, personal choice, don't worry about it. These are more the important ones that will stay here all the time. Obviously we've got the actual ones for earthing units, electrical power, things like that, working our way through your lift marks. These are all the very important ones, if you like, on the back. So there we go. The decals themselves, I'm not going to get them out because we know they're lovely. As you imagine, you've got 2 huge sheets down the back here with all those markings on. It's one of those things. Do you think it's worth it? If you're going to be doing this on the ground and everything open, go and get the Eduard kit easily. If you're doing it in flight with everything buttoned up, stick, you know, a bit cheaper and go along with the standard F4B kit or the C, whichever version you're doing, and you can do a great out of the box in-flight one. Myself, the weak parts with this kit, I've always said, with the seats, the engines, and you need a little bit of Photoetch. In flight, you don't need any of those because, okay, the engines you could do, but you could pick them up for a tenner. But the rest of it, I wouldn't worry too much about. But certainly, if you're an F4 fan, then you want to get the Eduard kit with all those nice goodies and everything goes with it, because you've just got it all sat in your stash, on your shelf, ready to go, and you've got no hassle about getting any others. So, great kit, go and get one.